Hi, my name is Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes, and pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is, do you use TINCheck? It really should be tincheck.com, but do you use TINCheck for the IRS TIN Match? Well, a unique result that you never reveal to vendors. Now, we're going to start off with what is the IRS TIN Match. This is where you verify the vendor's legal name and tax ID matches IRS tax records. And you want to do this for at least two reasons. One is to verify that the vendor is sending you or giving you the accurate information so that if the vendor is reportable and you file with the IRS, you won't be liable for that B notice process or for any fines or penalties because you filed the inaccurate legal name tax ID combination. So that's one. The second reason is that you want to make sure your vendor is real, right? And you don't just have a fraudster trying to give you a W-9 and give you any information just to check the box and hope you won't check it. So you do need to do the IRS TIN match. Now, the tax ID that they can give you with that vendor legal name on the W-9 or on the appropriate version of the W-8 is either the employer identification number or EIN, the social security number or SSN, or even the individual identification number or the ITIN, and that should be the individual taxpayer identification number or ITIN. And that is issued by the IRS when a foreign individual needs to file with the IRS for tax purposes, but they do not qualify for a social security number, and so the IRS will issue an ITIN. Now, when you receive for the tax ID an EIN, there is a little special something that tincheck.com does that the IRS, when you do the TIN match on their platform, you go through their e-services, that they don't do. And if you submit or do the TIN match on TINCheck and you use an employer identification number or EIN, if the legal name that the vendor gave you or that you searched with is incorrect, they will tell you the possible match found. Now, first of all, if it's correct, it'll say it matches the EIN name, matches or the vendor name matches the EIN database. But if it's not the same, it will tell you a possible match found. But you want to use that for your own information to determine if the reason that it's that you got the wrong information could be a red flag for fraud, or if it's maybe just a scenario where the person you're dealing with at the vendor's place of employment or place of business just doesn't know the accurate name. So maybe you can discern that they are giving you the DBA name instead of the legal name. That happens a lot. Or maybe it's way off. And either reason, though, you do not want to reveal it to the vendors because it could be a fraudulent request, where again, the fraudster is just trying to check your box and they're really banking on the fact that you are not going to do the IRS TIN match before the vendor setup and before they get paid. And then by the time you find out they're not a real vendor, they're already gone with the money. And so I am still very surprised how many people, one, still do not collect. And I say people, I mean vendor team members or accounts payable or purchasing team members, whoever's over the vendor function, how they still do not, one, collect the W-9, but even if they do, they still don't do the IRS TIN match until later in the year or when it comes time to do your 1099 filings. And again, fraudsters are banking on that. If they submit the W-9 or the W-8, they're really banking on you not doing that validation until after they get the money and it's too late. All right, so if you're interested in some other things, validation results, reviewing those, if you are using TINCheck.com, then check out my Essentials training series. Every fourth Wednesday, I walk through TINCheck.com and I walk through their validations. I know they have a long list of what you hope will be green because they also have 44 vendor watch list validations in addition to the IRS TIN Match and some other things as well. And so if you ever get that red, no one ever knows what to do when there's a hit on that. And so I talk about the whole tool, but I also talk about that piece as well. So I will put a link in the description so that you can click over if you're interested in joining that training. Now, if you'd like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my website at debrarrichardson.com for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, regulatory fines, and just overall bad vendor data. So good luck, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.